So what are some of the key requirements of the EU directive? And it can be broken down into 5 key requirements. Employers will need to ensure equal pay for work of comparative value, a greater emphasis on transparency, both through pay and career progression transparency, right to information, pay reporting, which is what the later part of the seminar is going to cover a lot on, and the assessment requirements. And we're going to take each one of these and really break it down, flagging what's unexpected, what are some of the key mindset shifts, and how do we create some next steps checklist for global organizations. But the one thing that I wanted to mention off the top was, whilst we're talking about gender-based pay discrimination, the first mindset shift is that the EU directive makes it really clear that gender-based pay inequities may involve an intersection of various axes of discrimination. So on the basis of sex on the one hand, and the racial or ethnic origin, religion or belief, disability, age, or sexual orientation on the other hand. And I also wanted to mention that this is a very long and meaty directive. Whilst we're going to talk about some of the key features, there are even additional requirements in the directive. So for example, this shifts the burden of proof on pay-related issues. So in cases where a worker feels that the principle of equal pay has not been applied and takes the case to court, national legislation should oblige the employer to prove that there has been no discrimination. And on the next slide, let's talk a little bit about what are some of those pay reporting requirements from the EU directive that companies will need to first calculate and then report on. And the list is right here on the screen that I won't read out. But what I will say is that companies will be required to implement new tactics in order to really battle this gender pay gap, including both annual reporting on gender pay for firms with more than 150 employees, and within a 3-year review for those with more than 100 staff. The regulation also enables employees to request information related to their own salary and the average pay of those who do the same or similar work broken down by gender. And this reporting needs to provide complete transparency around all benefits related to employment contracts in order to really provide more informative data for employers and employees alike.